We had to deal with a very mad customer, but how did it turn out? We're going to let you know in this video. There was a father and a daughter involved with this one. Interesting story, to say the least. Help me out with the thumbs up, my friends. Make sure you are subscribed. We will be continuing with giveaways. More information will be coming down the road with that. Not going to disclose that quite yet, but you're going to want to be subscribed for these giveaways. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the videos. Let's get into it right now. This morning, right at 9 a.m., father and daughter walk into the shop. Daughter is a stacker. Father is more into Bitcoin and meme coins. Daughter lost her job. Okay, daughter needed some money for dad to pay for rent. You know, they split the rent, so the daughter lost the job a couple weeks ago. She's trying to get unemployment. She's ready to get approved for unemployment. She has to wait that week backlog or whatever the case it is, however long you have to wait. She's waiting on that. She's getting to that time frame. She's getting no severance pay whatsoever. But this girl's 35 years old. Okay, she's 35. She's been stacking for at least 10 years. She's been coming in way before I started working at the shop. She buys, or I should say converts, into a little bit of everything. She's got some gold. She's got a lot of silver. She's got a lot of 5-ounce silver bars. So she was trying to go looking for a job this morning. She gave her dad 2 5-ounce silver bars. They may not, they were not germanium mint silver bars. She did have some of those. And she was trying to tell her dad last night, just take him to the coin shop. They will pay you cash. And she also had a 1-ounce round she was trying to bring in. But in the car was the whole shebang of silver and gold. And the father was very irritated at this girl. At his own daughter. Calling her not so nice names. Let's put it that way. Okay, right in front of the shop. And I'm trying to keep my cool. And I'm trying to explain to this guy what silver and gold does. It holds its value. He didn't want to hear it at first. I'm like, how am I going to get through to this guy? You know, so I said, all right, let's start here. I said, you're bringing me in 2 5-ounce bars. There were 2 generics and a generic round. I said, how much rent do you need? I said to him. I said, this is the value. She gave you a little bit more than the value of the 10-ounce bars and the 5-ounce bars and the 1-ounce round. I said, she's got a little bit more than $400 here of value. He says, how is that possible? So silver's up, gold's up. Then he started to calm down just a bit. So at that point, I said, you want something to drink? Here I go with my drinks again, right? Guy likes Pepsi. So I'm like, this is perfect for the Pepsi indicator, right? Perfect. So I said, hold on a minute. I grabbed him his Pepsi, grabbed her Pepsi. They were both sipping on Pepsi. I went around the counter. I pulled my Pepsi indicator cheat sheet out. And I showed him it. Show them, I've shown this before on this channel. Show them what 12 packs of Pepsi cost back in 2007. What they cost today. What silver was back in 2007. What $2.50 cost back in 2007. What they're worth today. It holds its value. Or take 4 silver quarters, my friends. It's the same value. Now he's really confused. Really confused. He says, how are 2 Franklin halves And I don't have, yeah, I can pull out some half bucks here. Because I do have some 2 Franklin halves worth that much. He says that's 50 cents to me. I said, but it's the silver value, sir. And he's starting to think. You know, I said, you're old enough to remember. I said, you remember when you bought a candy bar? And I used the candy bar logic on him. I'm not going to go through all that with you guys because you guys know where I'm going with that. It got him more thinking. I said, your daughter's done very well for herself. She's been converting paper money for real money. And he's stuck. I mean, he don't know what to say now at this point. You know, this gone on, this little back and forth. I'm not going to, you know, there was a few not so nice words back and forth, right? And because I'm really trying to defend this girl here because she knew what she was doing way back then. So, to say the least, he says, well, I don't think this is an investment. I says, I will agree with you there. I don't think silver gold is an investment. I said, my personal opinion is now some people will think silver gold is an investment, which is fine. You have a right to choose that. Silver and gold is to protect your wealth. I said, people are not going to get rich off of it. Trying to tell him this. Trying to get him educated. And he's just scratching his head at this point. Trying to understand what I am saying to him. So he says, so you're going to give me XYZ amount for 2 silver bars in the round she's willing to give. He says, then they're showing me what's in pictures of what's in the car. I says, you don't want to give up all this at once. I said, I could care less what's in the car. This is what I says, only sell what you need to. I said, you need to come back here every single week, every single day to sell what you need to for that day. Fine. Or every month for her to pay you the rent. Fine. But I said, your daughter's done very, very good for herself. I says, then we got into the Bitcoin and meme coin stuff. And she really went off on him on this. The own daughter went off on him. About the power going out. About being hacked into. So on and so on. And we're telling them, silver and gold can't be hacked. If you don't own it, you don't hold it. Got him thinking more. Okay? He's starting to really calm down at this point. And I think it's getting at him now. I think he's starting to realize what silver and gold has done. I said, I remember your daughter coming in here a couple years ago. Last year, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I said, I don't remember every single time she comes in here. Because I'm not always here. But I said that I've dealt with your daughter many times. I remember when silver was $25 an ounce. She was paying $28 an ounce. I remember when silver was $22 an ounce. She was paying $25, $24, $55, whatever the price it was back then. I said, she's got all her receipts, it looks like. She's got the big folder right there with all the receipts in it. So the story went on to say they had a big fight last night. Because she put this on the kitchen table, the 2 5-ounce bars, and the 1-ounce round, and the father had no clue what the heck it was worth. No clue. He's so far into meme coin in Bitcoin, right? And I asked him, I says, I'm not going to ask you about Bitcoin because Bitcoin's doing quite well right now. I said, but how are you doing in your meme coins? Well, some are losing my butt, and I'm doing okay in others. I said, silver's up over 30% this year. Gold's up over 28% this year. I said, but your Bitcoin's only up about 26%. Silver and gold both outperforming Bitcoin. So is copper. So is platinum. Got him thinking, okay? This is really getting him thinking now. I said, not so much the dollars. Yeah, you might be getting more in dollars than Bitcoin. But the overall percentages, if you had more silver, you had more gold, you can offset that dollars too, right? It's percentage. We got to look at the percentage. And he's like dumbfounded at this point. He's dumbfounded at this point. He didn't know what to say. So, he says, I think I'm going to sell some of my Bitcoin and meme coins. This is not telling anybody to sell Bitcoin or meme coins. It is your choosing if you want to stack Bitcoin and meme coins. That is totally up to you. If you want to risk your hard-earned money and gamble, be my guest. Not for me. Okay? I'm not going to get involved with a Ponzi scheme. And that's what I think Bitcoin and meme coins are. A complete Ponzi scheme. I think I've proven that already on this channel. I'll never get one piece of Bitcoin, get one thing of meme coins, nothing. Never in my portfolio will I ever have that. Never. I did today get some more First Mining gold stock. I told you I'd be transparent about when I made a decision of getting a little bit more. I got a little bit more today. Not a lot. Okay, not a lot. But I did get a little bit more. So there is my dedication to you all for telling you guys what I am doing and being transparent about it. And I'm telling these people the same thing I'm telling you. You know, I'm being frank with people. So at the end of the conversation, okay, at the end of the conversation, he says he finally apologized to his daughter, and the daughter's like, "Yeah, right." She's gonna have that attitude. I can see where this relationship goes. It's not a very, I would probably say, strong relationship between daughter and father. It seems like the daughter knows a lot more than the father does, which is quite funny, to be honest with you. And he apologized, but his daughter was like, "Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. I've heard this song and dance before, right?" So I said, "So are we going to sell this stuff? Are we going to sell this silver that you need for the rent to this today?" He said, "No." And the daughter's like, "Holy Dad, you need the money." He says, "I'm selling he says, I am going to pay your rent for the next 3 months. I'm selling off Bitcoin, and that's how we can get the money. You hanging on to silver, I'm going to stop buying some silver as well." And I told him, I said, "Remember, we're not buying anything. We're converting." Sometimes, my friends, told you had a pretty good ending here. Sometimes it can't come from a relative or a friend. You got to take him into a local coin shop. Take a 5-ounce bar in. Take a 10-ounce bar in. Take some junk silver into the coin shop. Maybe call the coin shop ahead of time, saying you're trying to educate somebody. Find out who you're talking to on the phone and say, "I want to talk to you when I come in." And saying, "You're willing to pay me XYZ for this at the current price, whatever the price is." And say, "I don't want the cash. I just want you to tell them this is, you can trade this back in quickly as you got it. And keep mindful, the premiums on the stuff, you might not get it back. You're gonna take a loss at first, most of the time. Unless it goes really shooting up the next day, then you can make a little bit of a profit, let's say, the next day. But that happens very, very rarely. There's some premiums on silver and gold. Keep that in mind. It's a long-term hold. We all know that. Speak about long-term hold. The deal of the week from Pinbacks. 10-ounce Canadian Royal Mint bars. 2 to 4. Special right now. Just have to get 2. 2. You get 2 to 4, they're $413.98 each. You get 5 or more, they're $409.48. This is as of July 23rd, 2025. They will be on sale for the rest of this week until Sunday. Today is Thursday, the 23rd. The price I recorded this at was 10:39 a.m. Eastern Time. So be aware, prices do change. due to the market conditions. Thank you, channel sponsor Pinbacks, for sponsoring my channel, Coin Shop Chris. Thank you to the viewer out there, because it's not possible without you. So what's the moral of the story here? So we got to educate, my friends. We got to educate people. Said before, sometimes, it can't come from family members or friends. It's got to come from so-called a perfect stranger at the coin shop or pawn shop, coin show, maybe even calling channel sponsor Pinbacks and get the insides on silver and gold. Let them explain to your friends, your family members. Sometimes, if you really know the coin shop people and you can make this ahead of your plans, say, I want to bring in a 10-ounce silver bar, a 5-ounce silver bar, but I don't want to sell it. I want you literally take it from me, show them what you pay out in cash, but I want to give you I don't want to sell it. I want you to give them the cash, you hang on to the bar, but I will give you the cash back and get my bar back. Some coin shops are willing to do that, to help people out. All you do is make a phone call. That might get some more people motivated to start stacking silver and gold and realizing the dollar's going goodbye. The dollar has lost value. It's not easy working in the shop, my friend. It's not easy doing these videos. Trying to educate the world, it's hard. Trying to educate your friends and family, it's really hard. Because they think we're crazy. They call us other names. We've all been called other names. I get called names every day. So, I mean, it don't make a difference, right? Let the name calling continue. But you got to remember this one thing. I understand it's hard. And we've been trying to educate. You've been trying to educate your friends and family. You can't stop. So what if it teases them off, pisses them off? Whatever the case may be. What are they going to do when this does go goodbye and they come knocking on your door and say, so-and-so, whatever your name is, Dad, Mom, Uncle, Aunt, Brother, Sister, Susie, Bobby, you get the drift. I need help. I should have listened to you. Well, would've, could've, should've. Here's what you can do if you're able to afford to do so. If you're able to afford to do so. Say, I'm willing to give you 1 ounce a month. 1 ounce. There's 1 ounce right there. 1 ounce a month. If you stack 6 ounces a month. I don't think that's a hard pull for most people. Maybe it is for some. So reduce the amount. 2 ounces. 2 ounces a month, I'll give you an ounce. For the next 6 months. That's 6 free ounces for them. If you're able to afford to do that. You know, it's not, that will help other people for one. Encourage other people to stack. Especially your own family. Maybe a close friend. It's very close to the family. Not saying to do this for everybody. It don't even have to be a 4 ounce. It can be a couple silver quarters, my friends. It can be a couple silver dimes. Whatever. You know, that is the thing in the nutshell, is we got to try to do something to get people motivated. I'll help you. That's what you tell them. But they got to make their effort on themselves. Take them to a coin shop. Take them to a coin show. Get them on the phone with Pinbacks. Maybe go have to order with somebody that in your family. Split the order up when you get it. Maybe you can get 2 or 3 different family members. Do a little bigger order. You all split that order evenly. Any way to get people to stacking. Any way to get people to stack. And I'll leave you with this. You know I'm very passionate about 90% silver, right? Very passionate about 90% silver. We gotta stop the melt, my friends. Stop the melt. And I'm not saying the viewers are melting it down. I'm talking about these coin shops, these pawn shops. They should be ashamed of themselves for sending off to the smelters to make a quick buck today. You keep melting 90% silver down, there ain't gonna be nothing for you to sell later. It will be gone. The people who own it now are not giving it up most of the time. Here's what I've seen that has happened. People bought too much. Try to convert too much at one time. Don't do that. Don't try to convert too much at one time. Because it's just gonna fail that way. Get what you can. I understand emergencies happen. You got to have some cash on the sidelines right now. You can't convert every single paper dollar you get in your hands and put it. You got to have a little bit of cash on the sidelines. After that, stack away, stack away, stack away. You know, you got to budget yourselves. Yes, there's a lot of silver out there right now. That could change very, very fast. I think it's going to start changing once we see it go over 40. And I've been waiting for the over $40 silver for a while now. We just can't seem to get above the 40. They're trying to keep us right around this 39 to 39,880 range for a while now. We're stuck in a little bit of holding pattern. We're not going to be stuck here for long. If you have any questions for me about silver, gold, or platinum, reach out to me in my email. It's in every single description of every single video. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for sharing. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This is absolutely free. Why wouldn't you at this point with the giveaways coming up? And I'll say this one more time. I think you're going to like this next giveaway coming up. That's all I'm going to share for now. Until the next video, Coin Shop Chris is out.